What's poppin', y'all? It is ShhMoneyTalk. We're officially back with episode 3, and I'm changing it up this time. I had to bring a young entrepreneur that has been making moves in Southwest Florida, but not only in Southwest Florida. So get ready. And to have Wyatt Griffith here today. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, girl?
Good. I've been vibing. You look good. Aura feels good.
Yeah, for sure. You know I can't come in here and not look good.
I'm telling you.
Or leave here and not look good.
Or leave here looking good. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
for sure.
talking about. So how's life been?
Life's been good, man. I've been super blessed.
Good. And you're about to be a daddy soon?
About to be a pops.
Is this why we got the beard going on and shit?
I mean, it's just like when I buzz it down, I look so childish. So I'm like, I just gotta keep it going.
No, I like it. You can tell the maturity coming through you.
Yeah.
Dad vibes the moment you walk in here.
100%.
I love it. So, is this your first child, right?
First kid.
First kid. How is it feeling? What's the feeling with a new dad?
There's so many emotions. I would say like it's surreal. There's things about it that feel really real at times. Like, wow, it's a weird way of saying it. Like, it feels very real at times. And then there's times where it doesn't feel real. Because it's like, no matter how many clothes we get him, no matter how much of the nursery we get done, no matter the hospital bag, he's not tangible yet.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things that my wife gets to feel all the time. She feels him. So there's a way more intimate connection with her than there is with me right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are times where it's like, man, I'm about to have a kid, but it doesn't feel real.
It's weird because in the Puerto Rican culture, always say the woman knows she feels as a mom the moment she finds out she's pregnant. The man becomes a dad the moment they lay their eyes on their baby for the first time. Are you scared?
I mean, I feel like I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared, you know? Because I feel like by nature, you don't want to mess up. You know, it's way more challenging having something real that is depending on you to take care of them, you know? So, and not to mention, like, it's more anxiety than anything because my parents did phenomenal with me, you know? And they weren't perfect, but my God, did they do a great job with us.
So you came from a good mom and dad in the family?
100%.
I love that for you. Not a lot of people get to enjoy that. How can you tell us about your childhood?
Well, mine was unique in the sense that, like, yes, I had a mom and I had a dad and they were very close, but when I was 7, my parents got divorced, right? And here's what was crazy. Like, my parents got divorced, but they always were, it was very amicable. They kept it very cordial with one another. We still did holidays together. We still did family vacations together. My parents were very communicative. They did not want to have that divide with their kids, and they put us first, which is why I said I had great parents. Fast forward a few years, when I was a sophomore in high school, sophomore, junior, my parents started to re-talk, and come my freshman year of college, they remarried each other.
Shut up.
Yeah. So
it's meant for you. It's meant for you.
Yeah, it's just like, I grew up seeing relationships go through trial and error, but when you love someone, you figure out a way to make it work. So my mom and dad figured that out. My grandparents are celebrating 67 years of marriage. My brother and sister have both been married to their significant other for 13 years. Like, I just come from a family of people that through trial and error, through hardship, they figure it out. And that's,
love that.
You know.
And it's so raw to see that now because in this generation, monogamy is not real no more. And it's really, there's so many temptations, social media. You get in a fight with your boyfriend and girlfriend, you go on Instagram, next you know, you find somebody to link up with or on Snapchat. And to see that there's marriages still wanting to evolve and work and try that. And you're how old? Because you just said you just came out of high school not too long ago.
28. I'm 28, so I graduated in 2014.
So you're young and you already know what you want. Mm-hmm. And do you think that comes because of your parents and how they built you?
I think it comes with you. I think there's pros and cons to that. It comes with seeing what you want and what you don't want. You know, it comes with knowing who you are as a person. It comes with knowing what you deserve. And you have to go through, I think, ups and downs and different valleys to figure that out. You know, there's a lot of hardships that come with understanding who you are as a person.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And with being only 28, you've done so much in such a short period of time. You're Coach Griffin on Instagram, right? That's what it says, Coach
Wyatt Griffith. Yeah.
Coach Wyatt Griffin. So explain to us, what do you do?
So I'm a strength and conditioning coach who focuses on the human performance analyst perspective side. So basically, like, I'm going to optimize you in the most way possible, right? So like when we're looking about optimization with efficacy, and we're looking about the kinetic chain from the top to the bottom, you're looking at different fundamentals on how you can improve people from where their inabilities are and where their capabilities need to be, you know? So that's kind of where my area of focus has been. I've worked with some of the most elite athletes.
Oh, tell me. What's your favorite one that you worked with? Most famous and favorite?
My most famous?
Most famous
Oh
and then
God.
favorite of all of them so far, because you're still growing.
I've trained some, like I said, I've had and I think what's important to know is that not because of me are any of these people better at what they do. It's just I've been able to help maintenance. I've been able to take them and help elevate their game. They were already who they were before they met me, you know? So I will never take credit for anything about their accolades, but it is so rewarding to have a small part in their success. It's always like very humbling to be like, hey man, I know I had a part there. But you know, like I've trained people like Terrell Owens. Like I've T.O.'s been my boy for like almost 4 years now, which is crazy to say. And he and I, like when he got into the Fan Control Football League, we actually had a pilot show called Training with T.O. that I I co-hosted, I helped produce, like I helped do everything with it from start to finish. And I remember we got a call after we had done like one episode, right? They're like, hey, like this is actually like going to be affiliated with another thing that's part of an Emmy. And we're like, bro, what? It was just crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. It was really cool to hear that. But yeah, I mean, I've been with him, you know, like recently I've been doing stuff with Timbaland, which has been cool. My boy Phil.
The producer, Timbaland.
The producer.
Like Aaliyah Timbaland.
Yeah.
How is he? Is he a vibe?
He's so cool, bro. He's so cool. And I got to give the credit to my homeboy Phil DeRue because he's put me on and helped me out so much in my career and really helped elevate me. But I met him through Phil because that's Phil's client, right? Timbaland's been his boy and all that for years. So I've had an opportunity to jump in with the sessions and help those guys and shit. And it's been cool as fuck, you know? And he's mad cool, mad chill, cool ass people.
That's dope. So if you can pick somebody you can train right now,
who
would be your first on your list?
Who would be my first on my list?
Yeah.
In any, like, somebody I've already trained or have not trained?
In general. Well, no, you know what? Who you haven't trained.
Who I haven't trained.
Yeah.
Man, who would I like to train that I haven't? Honestly, probably someone like Stephon Diggs.
Dope.
Would love to train someone like Stephon Diggs.
So make sure we're going to tag you on this video.
Yeah.
This is the whole legend right here in the making.
Yeah, for sure. No, probably someone like him. The guy, I think he's fascinating as an athlete, number one, and as a receiver, he's got such a great idea of manipulation and deception at the receiver position. His mechanics are so in tune and so fundamentally sound. Like he's just a tremendous technician, and I would love to kind of get behind his mind a little bit on how he sees things, and then how I would be able to just like do a little twist of what I do for front side mechanics improvement. So that would definitely be somebody I'd love to train for sure. So
with your career, is this something that did you play football? Did you play basketball? Or you were a sports player and then decided to move on to this level? Right.
So I had been playing ball since I was like 7. And then I had been running track since I was about 10. So when I went to college, I had a dual scholarship for football and track. And then I played football all the way up to like my junior season. And then I had gotten a call that I qualified for the NFL Regional Combine.
Oh, God, you just throw shit in here like very humbly.
I want to be humble about it because like it's all in God's hands. Like I had nothing to do with it. Like I worked hard. I had a lot of support, but I wouldn't have been able to work hard if I didn't have the support, and if I didn't have God, I wouldn't have any of those things. So I've been very blessed and very lucky. God's taking good care of me. But yeah, when I got ready to go to that, there was a lot of things that happened. I got tested. I ran my 40, and they had clocked me in at a 4.38 40. And I think primarily why I ended up getting signed in the AFL and then I had the opportunities in the CFL was because of that. You know, obviously I had a good skill set, but they're like, damn, dude, you're hauling ass. Yeah, they're like, you're hauling ass. So that's kind of what helped project me there. And then through that, I made so many connections in the NFL and in the CFL and just, you know, throughout the athletic realm in general. You know, I've trained so many different aspects of athletes that it's just been awesome to network, you know, because that person knows somebody and like, hey, you should come over here and do this with us. So it's how it works. Yeah. So how did you get to the level that you're at and not wanting to do football? Like, why didn't you go to the NFL? Yes, I mean, listen, if you make it to the NFL, you were part of legitimately like less than 1% of the population.
Is it that hard to get in there?
It's incredibly hard. The statistics that are going out right now about how many graduate from high school, go to play college on a scholarship, go to college, actually play from college, get a chance to go to the combine, from the combine, get drafted, from the draft, get actually like signed, and then get signed, and then go start. Like we're talking about very minimal, very minimal. You are the elite of the elite in the world. So basically what happened with me was I had come to a crossroads in my life, and when I decided to cross that Rubicon where I was like, where am I, what is next for me, you know? You go through an identity crisis moment, and it's like, am I just a football player? Is that all I am? Is that all I know? Because when you decide to get out of something you've done for almost 20 plus years, it's very scary, you know? Scary. So I had made that decision when I was 24 to hang it up, be done with it. I had made it further than most people had made it. I was very content in what I had done. And then it was just like, what's next for me? And from a young age, I think at 21, I had really got baptized by fire in regard to my training career. I started when I was 18. And by the time I was 21, I was training professional athletes. I was training law enforcement officers. I was training Delta guys in the military. I was training, you know, collegiate schools for football pro days. I was just dabbling in so many different areas at a young age, thanks to a performance company called Titus. And they really helped elevate my knowledge. They really helped elevate my career and just gave me so many opportunities, you know, at such a young age. People study and do schooling for years and years and years just to get that type of experience in the field. And I got it when I was 21.
That's such a blessing.
Yeah.
And God puts people in your lives just to elevate you. And
Yeah.
It's like, we were just talking about it earlier, like, he'll place people in your lives, but it's like taking a horse to water. You can't make them drink.
Right.
And you were drinking. You
Yeah,
were taking in everything that you can.
Yeah.
If you can work with somebody that's been, like, inspired you, what would be that person right now?
Oh, man, bro. Like, I feel like at this point I've worked with the people that I think have, I wouldn't say inspired me, but they have helped my educational prowess. You know, I've worked with some of the most successful people in my field, and that's been humbling for me. But the people that have inspired me have been like my family, you know, my wife, like that's who inspires me. You know, like my dad was my biggest, you know, that was the guy that was larger than life to me. My older brother, he was another person that I was just like, oh my God, like these dudes, these are the dudes, you know, like this is it. I want to be. You know, this is it right here. And then I just had really strong women in my life. I had amazing sisters. I had an amazing mother. I had an amazing grandmother. And now I have the most incredible person to spend the rest of my life with. So that's who has inspired me and motivated me to continue to go. Motivation and discipline are two different things, you know, but they've helped me stay strong in my discipline. So
that's dope. And you tell your mom's your queen. So with your wife, your fiance, because you're about to get married.
Done deal, dude.
Oh, hold up, wait.
Yeah,
when did you get married? Because it wasn't I supposed to go to this wedding?
Yeah, so here's what happened. So not many people know about it. When we were planning our wedding for February, all right, this was last year around January. Like, we're going to get married in February. That's how we're going to do it. Remember, I talked to you about.
Were you saying Spain or something?
We were gonna do Italy.
Bro, I was so ready. Like bags packed, passport ready.
We were gonna do Italy, and then we changed it to North Carolina. Nice. So what happened was around May, Christine and I, we found out we were pregnant. And we're like, when's he due? February. We're like, oh, fuck. I'm like, so that kind of put a damper on that. But one thing that we wanted to do was that we believe in the institution of marriage, and we love each other. So we're like, we need to get married before he comes. Like, we might not have what we want right now, but we will have the ceremony. So what we did was we got married last weekend.
Hold on, shut up. This is like all new. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Bro.
Yeah, it was stuff.
You have came such a long way from seeing you like
I know, man.
In high school with my brother.
I know.
And what kind of tell me. You got married last week. I need details.
So we had our baby shower. We got done with our baby shower, and then right after that, like, my mom and dad were there, my grandparents were there, my brother was there, his wife was there, my sister was there, like my cousins were, like, the important people that needed to be there were there. And it just so happens that he's like a brother to me. He's my older brother's best friend. His wife is an officiant and a notary. And we were just like, Sarah, would you do the honor of doing this? And she married us right there, like right when we got done. And then my brother and my sister signed as our witnesses. You know, it was so unique. And then like in that moment I had, because you try to stay locked into it, you know, you really want to try and stay locked into what's going on. And I remember looking around, like I had just like, you know, I'd hugged my wife now, it was great to say that. And my brother and sister were signing the paper, and I'm just looking around, I'm just like, you know, I know I'm an extra person. You know I like the finer things in life, but damn, dude, you couldn't have asked for anything more than what was in that room right there. You know, it was so special to me, and just to the same people that raised me, the same people that have always been there for me were right there in that moment. It was bliss. It was beautiful.
My God, I love that. I can like picture it in my head.
Yeah.
And with the wedding that you were talking about, was so extravagant because that's really
Right.
Is you like, this is the woman.
Yeah.
Right when you started dating her, like I found one, I love her, I think I'm gonna propose. I'm like, damn, hold up.
Yeah.
Like this just happened so fast, and you made all this up, and to know that you just had it so intimate. It's a beautiful thing to have because that's what matters. I do so much hair for weddings. The one regret from every bride that I talk to is I should have never spent so much money on a dress, and I should have never done this wedding with a venue, and should have waited and spent the honeymoon with my husband and enjoyed it. And people come to weddings that only want to be nosy. 50% want to be nosy, 50% want to actually see you happy.
Right.
To be in that intimate space with your family, what did your mom do?
My mom was crying.
She's such a sweetheart. I freaking love her.
Yeah, my mom was crying. She was like, hey, tell Nakisha I said what's up tonight, because she knew I was coming out here.
Yeah, she need to come by. It's been like 4 years since I did her hair.
Way too long.
long.
But yeah, no, man, it was dope. It was really awesome, you know, and just like I said, to have the people there that meant the world to me, I couldn't have asked for more.
I love that. How did you know when she was the one?
So,
like, how'd you meet her? Let's talk about her.
She was a client.
Oh,
yeah, and I don't fuck around with my clients.
I was about to say, was this the first that you ever like was like, fuck, I need her?
Ever. And we were in such a unique space at the time, and when I knew that she was the one was when I would start like thinking about her, you know, or I'm like, damn, bro, like this is just, it's insane. Or the conversations that her and I would have. And I remember thinking to myself, and it's funny because your brother, right, of all people, right, he'll be like, damn, Griff, like, you're just gonna lock yourself down, huh? Like always supportive, you know. He's always
gonna be
supportive.
Like, but we're young, bro.
He's like, yeah, but bro, like, damn, bro, you're gonna have a kid too, like, it's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't give a shit about the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I have no, like, Christine was asking me the other day, she's like, do you ever have FOMO? And I'm like, what do you mean FOMO? And she's like, just like, you know, we're getting married and we're having a kid. I'm like, fuck no, dude. I'm like, I had so much fun when I was in college. And not that I was like a hoe or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I've done so many cool things in my life that I've always known what I've wanted. And one of the things I always knew that I wanted was to be in a relationship where I was with somebody that I knew no matter what was going to support me. And like I said, I grew up watching, I mean, badass women. Like, my mom is not a pussy. My sisters are not like, my grandma, like, they are badass women. You know what I mean?
That.
Like, they're warrior women. And I knew I needed that in my life. I needed a warrior woman in my life. And when I found Christine, it was just like, it wasn't right away, because I'm not a firm believer in, like, it's love at first sight. Immediately, it was infatuation. I was attracted to her. I loved the way she talked. I immediately loved the way she smelled. Like, you know, like, I'm a huge, like, pheromone guy. Like, I was super attracted to her scent.
Take notes, ladies.
Right? I was super attracted to her scent. It just, like, I was like, damn, this girl smells good, bro. You know, it was one of those things. But then as we started to talk and I started to get to know her mind, I started to get to know her spirit, her soul. And it was like, damn, we come from two different sides of the lake. Literally, like, this girl is not from our state, right?
Where's she from?
From Virginia.
Right? Weren't we just talking about Virginia earlier? Was it with y'all? I don't know. I swear I heard that from somewhere.
Dude, she's from Virginia, and it was one of those things where it's like, how can somebody that grew up way different than I did, comes from a different part of this country, and somehow we have so much in common. We have so many similarities, you know? And it's been great. And she's everything to me. She is my rock. She's just my person. Where were we at? We were with her family, and we were at Disney, right? And you know how it can be, like, when you're with, like, it can just be chaotic, you know, when you're dealing with family all the time.
Yeah.
So it was a long week, and we had a lot of shit we were getting done, and we were walking in Disney, and this guy, like, was, like, walking right between us, and her and I, without even talking, went around this dude, came back, and, like, just immediately started holding hands, and I looked at her, I was like, dude, you're my person, bro. Like we just like we think so much alike. It's so funny. So
I love that. You're like turning red. Like the way you talk about it. We had you on another podcast that I used to do called Parlor Talk.
Yeah.
And you had me almost in full blown tears.
Yeah.
Because this was the beginning. Like I don't even think she was even pregnant at the time. You were just dating her.
Kisha, that memory. We got to work on that memory. That
was it 2 years ago? Oh my God.
So
I'm telling you, if my head wasn't connected, I would be like a chicken with my neck cut off. But 2 years ago, you were talking about it, and you had all three of us women here, like almost in tears. Like it's hard at this generation, especially in a man in your element, the way you look, carry yourself, business oriented, to think like, oh, he's probably a player. Yeah. Like your looks give that. My brother gives that. You know what I mean? Right. But when you came in so young, humble, and you have everything established in a way you knew. And that was just dating. Like I have to pull that video up and do a clip with that because from now to now, like a whole nother person. And it's not a whole nother person because you have that feelings, but just the fulfillment that you give when you came here. Like, I held that shit down. I spoke that shit into existence.
I'm curious though because it's not the first time I've heard that, right? So like, tell me from a woman's perspective, right? A female, right? I hate when people say like from a female's perspective, like from a woman's perspective, right? What is like a player look like? You know what I mean?
So I'm like, okay, so Rico Suave type shit, right?
Right.
They usually smell good, very clean cut all the time. But you know what? Players can be dirty too, I guess, because we got some dirty men that are just dirty. Yeah. But I don't know, like pretty boy established. I don't know what else to say. Like you, my brother, like y'all are clean cut the way you walk with the confidence. Like you know you are beautiful. Like you're a beautiful human being.
Thank you.
Handsome to men. Men will probably even say it too. Like y'all ain't gay, but man, fine. Like he cute. He got good bone structure. But you would think like with
you're good looking if both sexes think you're good
that
looking.
Part,
if
that
both
part.
genders think you're good looking, you look good.
And you can walk around with confidence and be like, yeah, I ain't gay, but I fucks with you. I fucks with you. But at the end of the day, just it's just the demeanor of the person that you know women are attracted to.
Right.
And for you to have all this temptation, social media, women that you're seeing, you're traveling a lot. Just like you said, you're working, you go between Miami, back, and LA and all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like all over.
And there's women. And it's just, in general, it's just women. And a lot of men can't be with a woman and have that temptation. Regardless, they throwing that ass. Like my dad said back in the day, a man's a man. And it is what it is. But to see that there's still men like you that believe in that and that want to be monogamous, that want to love that one person, that's looking for that, it's very refreshing. Because as women in this generation, there's a lot of women with insecurities. You have filters, you have BBLs, you have the fake lips, the fake lashes. And in reality, men don't look for that. They look for the personality. Who can make them laugh when they ain't got shit and they're on their dick. In other words, can I ride with her? Can she ride with me? Is she gonna like what 50 Cent with the 21 question? Would you love me and hold me if I stink? Like, are you ready for this? And a lot of women. They say they are until it comes down because when your man can't help you pay your bills or your car note, are you going to leave him and go for another man? Same thing with a man. Right. If that woman ain't busting it down for you or getting dressed up, looking pretty every day, can you still love her?
100. Like for me, it's like, look, even before I had this on, right? Even before I was wearing this, right? Like I just got this, but I had a silicone band on that I remember that I've been wearing, right? And people are like, bro, why are you, like, are you married? I'm like, no. Like, are you engaged? I'm like, why are you wearing a band? It's like, one, why would, if I gave her a rock, right, is she the only party that's got to wear that, right? Like, I wanted to give her that, and I wanted to wear mine because I wanted to be known, like, no, like, I got it. Like, I wasn't trying to hide anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like... It's never been that way for me because I've always been so attracted. Even with my wife, she's 9 months pregnant, right? And I'm like, fuck, you are so fine. Like, I still think she's fine, right? Because that's just my person. I'm just attracted to her. I love her. You know, like, she's been with me when I've been at some of my pinnacle peaks, right? And she's also been with me at some of my worst, like, just my lowest of lows. She's been there for me, in my corner, like, that's who I know, like, no matter what, come hell or high water, I don't give a fuck. That person right there has my back. I will always have that person's back. Always, no matter what. So, no. Temptation is a real thing, right?
The devil is walking.
But it's only real when you start fiending for those things, right? when you start speaking that shit out into the world, then the devil can hear your like the outward thoughts, right? Where you don't need that, right? Like I don't need anything else than what I have. Like Christine's got her lips done, right? She's got her nose done. She's already got a fat ass. She's already got a great body. Like she doesn't need anything else. I don't need her to have anything else, right? I just want to keep giving her shit because it's like part of my love language.
I was just about, you read my mind. I was like, what is this man's love language? Like, you ever heard of a relationship that you don't know your person until you really understand their love language?
Right.
Because some relationships, you can be a giver and that person can be a intimacy. They want to be touched constantly. And now they're fighting because they're not understanding, like, well, he always gives me gifts, but I want time. I want intimacy. I want him to touch me. And then it's vice versa. What is your love language? Is it gifting?
Me, like Christine, like for her, she says, right, she's not like into materialistic shit, which she's not. She loves attention. She loves touch. Like those are the things that she likes. But this girl has 2 closets, right? I've gotten her like 3 pairs of red bottoms, like every designer shit you can think of. She's got all kinds of shit. Like you name it, this girl has it, right? Diamonds, whatever. She gets it because one, I love doing it. But for me, it's more just about the, like when I'm working and I'm doing something like here tonight, right? And I'm gonna be real, I was like, oh fuck, babe, I almost forgot. I gotta fucking go out to this podcast, right? It's not like, cause like I'm doing shit like this all the time.
But you're home, you're comfortable too.
And my girl was like, all right, well, go put something on. Let me see how you're feeling for the night. So I put this thing on, and then she's like helping like clean me up, and like, hey, good luck tonight, go have fun. When I have that, that's my love language. Like when I have unconditional support from my person, that's all I need. That's it. Like if we were doing, me and Phil, my buddy Phil, he was doing a thing called the Ruck 150 where we were building awareness for like our first responders, our military. We were raising money and we were going to ruck 151 miles in 3 days.
Shit.
Right? Throughout that whole time, Christine's texting me like, hey, how are you doing? Keep crushing this shit. You got it. Like she was pregnant at the time very early on, but she's like, me and your baby are so proud of you. Just keep going, keep going. That was all I needed to hear. That was it. You know, so that's like my love language. It's just that affirmation, you know, like just that positive reinforcement. I love that from her.
I like that. That's dope. That's dope. So back into the business. So like you said, you're getting everywhere. You're traveling, you're training celebrities, and you've hit. In other words, other people look at like you hit your peak, but you haven't. You're not even in your prime yet.
Right.
What is after little? Was it little man, little girl?
Little boy.
Little man coming into us. There's a mini me coming.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in like the next 5 years? Do you see yourself being home and being that father is every day, or you're traveling with them? They coming no matter what.
Yeah, like I've had this conversation too, and it's like our life is not stopping and our life isn't slowing down, right? It's not that it's not gonna get harder, and there's other challenges her and I are gonna face, but this house has to get paid for. You know, these cars we have to get paid for, you know, or it just, whatever we have, it needs to get taken care of still. So the operation doesn't stop, you know, the mission keeps going. But I do plan to be home way more, of course. And when I'm on the road, they're coming too. Like it's a little give and take. And right now, I'm still young and I'm climbing this ladder, and I'm like, I know I have this like gut feeling, this intuition that God is like putting me in places right now where it's where I need to be, where I'm getting ready to have that bigger break than I've had before, where it's like, hey, the thing that you thought you want, this is what you want right here. I'm putting you there. I can feel that coming. So I'm just putting all of my faith into God, right? And that's a lot easier said than done. It's hard, you know? And so where I'm at right now is my main focus is having this baby. And once he's out, however I can help Christine in whatever capacity, that's really my focus, because I have such a solidified lock with what I'm doing right now. The people I work with are great, and they understand my position. So I know that I'm secure to some degree in that regard, so that I can help her, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So
shit, you a hard trainer.
Yeah.
A hard-ass
You
trainer.
think so?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Guys, so let me tell you this little story, right? And one time I was like, you know what? I want my ass fat. I want my stomach flat.
Yeah.
And I got what was it? Like, it was probably winter season around this. I'm like, for summer. And I went to you. And I remember you telling me, like, look, I'll do it for this fee. And I got you for the year, sis. Like, I'm going to get you right. And I was so determined. I was fresh out of a relationship. So, you know, when you get out there, you're like, you want your sexy fine back. I went to you, bro. And I'm an athlete. I grew up playing basketball, football, boxing, everything you can think of, softball. And you pushed me to my limit. I surprised myself. I'll be like, damn, I still got it and I haven't pushed it. I couldn't take a shit for about a week.
Yeah, bro.
I felt like my muscles were torn.
Yeah.
But if I would have stayed consistent, I would have been a bad bitch.
Yeah.
But man, I remember I just said, fuck it, take the money.
Yeah.
Take the money. Like, do you ever have people that come to you like that? Because I'm not an athlete no more. I do hair. This is the most I get in this way. But that killed me. Do you ever have somebody be like, bro, like you're tough. You're a drill sergeant.
I mean, yeah, obviously, like what I do is not like I don't train Gen Pop anymore, right? Like I just I'm training very elite people, very conditioned individuals. I would say that the most I get that is probably with online clients, right? Like, but that's harder because if you're not directly there with them, it's harder to keep them disciplined. So it's real self motivation on their end. So probably more online, but not in person. Anybody I train in person has like, nah, we're ready to go, we're ready to rock. You know what I mean? Because they understand what they're signing up for. Time is money, number one. And at the end of the day, if you're paying me a fee, my objective now is to give you exactly what you just paid for. Whether you like it or not, you're about to get your ass worked.
Yeah, you
right?
did.
So, no, I mean it's more online than it would be in person for sure.
Have you ever had to fire a client?
Have I ever had a fire client?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know I fired a couple. I
haven't fired a client. No, but I did sound off on a guy one time.
Stop it.
Yeah, when I was young, in my like younger phase, we had this group of people coming in and training, and they were training for free because of the setup we had with them, right? And I was new into the industry, still earning my stripes, so I had to work like the ass hour shift. So it's like you got to be up at 4 to work the 5. So I remember I came in one morning, and it was like my 4th time training these guys this week, and this guy was just like, oh my God, like, Griff, do we really have to do sleds again? And I remember I looked at him and I said, no one told your fat ass to get the fuck out of bed this morning, right? Because I was like, no one told you to get here. You're coming for free. No one told you to come here. So do the fucking workout or not.
Straight the fuck up.
And, that he tightened up after that. I remember one time I was training some guys in an academy one time, and I was just like so pissed off. So I'm like, do you guys understand what you're getting into? Like, do you realize like the profession you're going into? And they tried to like, not undermine me, but because I was younger, they were trying to like just like play shit off with me.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was like, oh, okay. Bet.
I'm gonna work that ass
Here we
all
go.
Today.
Here we go. Let me give you a little situational awareness problem, and then let's go fucking work it. Let me really strike and shock your central nervous system, and let's go into this workout. Let's see how you do, all right? So, I mean, I've never had to fire anybody per se, but I have sounded off on people at times. But that was more younger me. Now I'm a lot more calm. I'm a lot more collected. I would never do that because I have to save face. I have a reputation that I want to keep. So, no, I've never done anything like that.
So being such a young entrepreneur, and you're working at this caliber now, and as you said, when you were younger, you've learned from different things and you're growing. Do you do contracts with people? Do you have lawyers and fee, NDAs or anything like that with your career that you're doing? Because I know I do it in my industry.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have contracts that I sign out with people when I'm training them. I haven't ever had to do anything with like an NDA or anything like that, because it's never anything that we're doing like behind closed doors. We're very out in the open doing shit, so it's nothing like that. But yeah, I have contracts that I sign with people. I have a lawyer, like I have an attorney, that's like, checking things for me and making sure that everything's right, but that's about it.
What would you give, like, say a kid came out, we say kid because, 18, 19, you're getting out of college, you're still a kid.
Yeah.
And they're finished, they did exactly what you did. They did football, they loved it, they college, you went a little bit into it, not all the way to the NFL, but now they want to do what you do. What would be something that you would give them? Like, any advice?
I mean, at the end of the day, no one is going to care more about what you want than you do, right? So you really have to vouch for yourself and go out and get the things that you want. And I heard this great quote the other day, and it said, if you have a strong enough why, you can bear any how. And it was so simple but so profound. And I remember when I was coming up young, I was being told, by people that I loved, Not that they were like doubting anything I could do, but they're like, you need to make sure you do this because this won't, be there for you and this, that, and the third. And I had such a strong conviction in what I was doing, and I believed so much in. I didn't know where I was going to go with it. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that I wanted to do something that I had a great time with, that I was my own boss with, and that I had a passion for. And then all I could really say is there's two things you should do. You should care about the last name that you have, whether it's been good before you or you're the one who needs to make it good now. Because your last name is all you have. Don't tarnish it. That is the one thing that is going to keep you going, keep business for you, because your word is everything. The other thing I would say is study the people that are doing what you want to do. See who is most successful in the field of where you want to be and see what they're doing. See where they've failed. Because just as success leads clues, so do the failures.
That part.
And you have to learn from where they've made huge advances in their career and where they've hit some plateaus. And that would be the biggest. And don't be afraid to go do it. Just put yourself out there. Like, don't wait to do shit. Just go do it. Just start.
I think that's what people are so scared of 24/7. It's like they see this big image, they're like, this is what I want to do. And then they tell their dream to a simple-minded person.
Right.
And that simple-minded person, like, well, chill. Like, you're from a little city. Like, let's start with steps. And those are the people you don't want to have around you because people can intimidate you. And let's not just talk about people. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be your significant others that tell you that. And I feel like people see failure as something that they don't want to hit, and they don't realize that you need failure. Because doors open from failure, and you learn to appreciate those little things.
Keeping things to yourself, too, is another, like, tool that I've learned. Not everybody wants the best for you, right? So when you speak a lot of things out loud, it is good to speak things into existence. However, you have to be mindful of who you're speaking them to, because some people will wish and pray on your downfall. They don't want to see you elevate. No one wants there's nothing worse than a gatekeeper, or there's nothing worse than people that really just don't want to see you elevate. And that's another thing, like, grind quietly, let people see the success unfold organically, because no one needs to know what you're doing all the time. Like, you had asked me, like, is there anything that, like, you have going on that's big? And it's like, yeah, I have some things on the back burner right now, but not that I don't trust you or anything else. It's just like, internally, like, from my own internal piece, I'm keeping that for me. Because, like, I just know where I'm trying to be, and I just want to go for it,
I feel that. I learned that the hard way with, like, doing the fashion show stuff. It was something that was so dear to me that when I did not post that I got, like, last year, I'm doing New York Fashion Week. I'm leaving this week to New York Fashion Week. And shout out to Roman Roofing for being my sponsor 2 years in a row. He sponsored me last year for New York. That's and awesome. If it wasn't for him, and he is a small business owner starting, and he is self-made. He's built this big plateau here in Southwest Florida of Roman Roofing, and it's given over 1,800 people jobs. And it's just I'm just a little person, and I went up to him and was like, look, can you sponsor me? I'm going to this thing. I know you always said if I ever need anything, and he sponsored me with $2,500. He's like, that's all you need? I was like, yeah, bro, I don't even want to be greedy. I just want my flight paid and my food, because when you go to these things, I was doing free work. I had to show them what I can do. Yeah. I'm big here in Southwest Florida. I'm shmoney, but I ain't shit in New York. I ain't shit in LA. So when he gave that to me, I showed my ass. And I was telling him, like, I went in there, this is what I want. This is what I manifest. This is what I worked my ass off for. And now I got the opportunity to be the lead hairstylist in New York Fashion Week and take staff with me. So it's like boss shit.
Take your claps.
Yes, and being around people like that just invest into you and make shit happen and not being scared. If it wasn't for me being scared and wanting to do something completely out of my box, I would have never knew how far I can come. Right. And that's what I think people really need to take in. It's like, bro, don't show shit. I didn't tell nobody on Facebook. I didn't tell anybody until the moment I got the email. I said, Keisha, you're going. Yeah. Because I was scared that I was going to post something and it completely fall out. Because I believe in evil eye. I'm Puerto Rican. That's what we believe in. You don't tell people too much stuff, work behind closed doors when it's guaranteed, then you call a little spice until you still don't give them 100%. And I feel like too many people show that on social media, but it's hard. You're a content creator. How do you feel like you keep that balance? Because like you said, we don't want to show too much, but we need to show enough to keep them interested, to keep our name going. How are your balance with that?
Yeah, like, you definitely have to keep an even balance. And there's a lot. Like, I was asking, are you doing, like, how much batch content do you have? Are you doing UGC stuff? Like, when you want to, like, maintain your engagement with your followers, you want to make sure that you're giving enough to stay relevant, to show them that you're still putting stuff out. so that they can see that, okay, this person is really doing what they talk about. You have to find an even balance of what you want out there and what you don't, because you do need to protect that other side of your life. Because if you're someone like me or someone like you who's got an open account, it's personal. Everybody can see it. It's public, right? Everyone can see the account. How much of your life are you trying to expose on there? So you have to figure that out. You do. You have to be careful with it, but at the same time too, you also need to put yourself out there to show that hey, listen, if you're trying to get somewhere, the only way for it to happen is for content is king.
Yeah.
But to what you say is so true though. You weren't making any money when you're doing it. I can't tell you how many times in my life I really had to suck hind tit. I wasn't making money at all, but I was getting out there. I was getting experience. I was getting exposure. I was building my Rolodex to just really connect with people and network. You have to do that. If you really want to elevate in your career, you have to get out, you have to meet people, and you have to sometimes do shit for free. Not all the time.
But at least enough to get your name out
But
there.
Enough to show that hey, this person's willing to sacrifice to get their name out there and, put in the work. You definitely have to do that.
Hell yeah. For me doing New York for free, LA was completely paid off for me. And I got paid. It was my first show that I ever got paid. Right. But I would have never got that if I didn't take a week from work, which I make great money behind the chair. But I went there and it's this is priceless. To sit there in a room with people that I look up to, the stuff that I want to do, the adrenaline rush. Even if I never get paid, at least I can say I did this shit. Right. And a lot of people are scared to do free work. People come in and I want to be you, Wyatt. I want to be where you are. I want to drive that nice ass car that you drive. But they don't want to put the work before it. They want you to do it for them. Right. And that's what I'm learning a lot from being where I'm at now in my platform. It's what can I use it for good? You know who it's just surprised me that I really, really like, and a little off topic, but the same thing with social media, is Bad Bunny. I didn't like Bad Bunny at first. I'm a fake ass Puerto Rican. I think in the last podcast with my mom, if you go check it out. Bad Bunny? Yeah, I don't know what he's saying. He talks too fast. And when you're talking to me, I understand Spanish, Puerto Rican Spanish. Let's say it that, because Colombian, Dominican, Mexican, all very different. Little swing different. Right. Puerto Ricans are the most, I guess you can say, ghetto Spanish. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't care for him. But this new album he just put out, he changed it. He saw we have reggaeton. We have hip-hop that has no backbone to it. You're talking about drugs, weed, smoking. Women are coming on and rapping, talking about we don't need no man. We don't need this. You got little girls talking about I don't need no man. I can do this myself. No, God made a man and woman because a woman is the neck, the man's the rib. Mm-hmm. We guide, but y'all carry us. That's the way it's supposed to be. And what he did is use his platform, and he decided to only do a residency in Puerto Rico. That's the first time in history that somebody decided to do that. You know why? Puerto Rico is down bad. In reality, we are part of the United States. A lot of people say, go back to your country. No, bitch, we are. We're part of the United States. But in reality, we weren't getting the money that we needed, the funding that we were getting during hurricanes loss. It's the island that made it. Yeah. But you have people coming and spending tons of money buying $1 million homes. Jake Paul was one of them. Right in La Benda, we call it. It's the hood in Old San Juan. And they're blocking off beaches that you can't take. What he started noticing is there's a lot of tourists coming. But it's people with money that are buying restaurants and stuff. So what he did with this residency is brings people from everywhere to Puerto Rico. So it brings money flow to the island. Yeah. Now with the locals, not only in San Juan and Old San Juan and regular San Juan, the new San Juan they'll call it, that people go with tons of, you have Nicky Jam, Daddy Yankee, Don Man. He decided to go in every little part of, Morovis, where I'm from, Bayamon, from where my dad and Macho's from. These little islands, so when you need to go to a concert and you can't make it to one, you're going to these little towns. You know what happens to those little towns? Those little mom and pop shops are making it now. Yeah. They're eating. They're having restaurants filled, something they didn't have. Hotels are getting booked. Right. Now tourists are enjoying Puerto Rico on a different island. And to use your platform in such a positive way that I don't even think people really realize what he's doing right now in his history. And that's kind of what I feel like we have. We have a platform. You have how many followers on Instagram?
I don't know, 14.5K or something like
that. A lot.
It's nothing crazy.
Hey, 14K is a lot. I'm 7, and I just all natural people that I've met in between there. And it's we have such a good platform. What can we use for the good? What can we make a change? And he's doing that. And I feel like that's the content we have to start pushing out a little bit more. Whereas you're showing your album, but you're also
I have a few guys right now that are trying to come in shadow under me, an intern process type deal. And I would say that's probably one of the more rewarding things in my career at this point. is seeing people elevate because I'm able to help them, or whoever I'm connected to, I can put them in positions to elevate their career. I would say that's probably one of the most rewarding things that I'm doing right now. It's funny you mentioned Jake. Jake is probably one of the coolest people that I've met.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's chill as fuck. He's got a, like, people like try to hate on Jake, but Jake's nice as fuck.
Is he?
Yeah.
So you know what? My mom liked him after the fight with Tyson because he was like, he could have went in there. I'm like, Mike Tyson could have went in too, because if you see the way he was prepping, I'm a boxing. Like, if you don't know, my uncle is Hector Macho Camacho, so I grew up in boxing my whole life, and seeing the way Tyson was coming out sparring when he fought that fight. I don't care what nobody says. That wasn't Tyson. Regardless if he claims he had a little hurt or whatever, he still was sparring and having all this stuff showing. But when Jake was like, look, at the end of the day, he's an older OG in this. It's a legend. I'm not going to take it out like that. I'm still younger. And at that point, me and my mom we both said, like, damn. It showed a different side of him. The more humble side. Yeah, it could have been put as people look at social media. Like, oh, he's doing it for publicity. But in reality, they're really good friends.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of boxers don't realize. The same thing with NFL. You probably have two football teams going at each other, but they're probably going to go have a beer afterwards and hang out. And Jake Paul showed a different side. My son's obsessed. He shows me videos of him dancing when he was younger.
Who, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's cool, man. I met him at I got invited to one of his parties. He had like one of his like mansions that he's got out there in Miami, and met him and talked to him for a minute. He was cool people, man.
Is he really? Because he kind of gives off that cocky vibe, but I feel what you're saying. Because when people talk about Macho, they see as Hector Macho Camacho's flamboyant, big outfits, and he was very loud. But when you got to meet him, he's just the humblest man that I've ever met, loving, and had a lot of little techniques. So that's good to know that you personally have met him, and he's not like that.
No, he was cool, man. I mean, it's just like, he was throwing a party, so obviously he wasn't trying to, but he was cool as fuck. We talked to him and dapped him up, and we were talking about T.O., and stuff. And so, yeah, he was cool, man.
How was that with T.O.? You said you did a Hulu series with him, right? How'd that go? How did I even inspire?
Hulu and Fubo. Me.
You shut up.
Yeah.
He's like, me. I'm the one that made this happen. So
there's an awesome guy named Steven, and he's like a huge producer. He's like produced with MTV and all this shit. Really, really situated in the game. And when I was up there, because I would get T.O. ready before he'd go out and play. So I was up there with Christine, and of course, right? Like, I'm there because so like when you're there, like, you have big people, right? Like, the Migos were there. Drewski was there. Drewski tried to hit on my wife.
I fucking love Drewski. Shut up.
Yeah. Obviously did it when I wasn't around. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my gosh.
Like, damn, do it in front of me, bro.
Like, damn, dude. Right? Like, yeah, she's hot. I get it, bro. I get it. No, but like all these big people are there. So like we're sitting backstage, and I'm like looking right behind the curtain where T.O.'s talking, and I like look over at Christine, and I'm like, you know what would be a dope idea for a show? And she's like, what? And I was like, training with T.O. And she was like, yeah, that would be sick. How would you do it? So I like started to ponder it. And then I had went back to my brother, and I told him about it, and he was like, dude, you need to run with that. Like, go see. So I remember I hit Steven up, and I was like, hey, man, what do you think about this? And he was like, fucking great idea. Let's do it.
Hell
and then hit me up, and then we, like, over the course of, like, maybe, like, 3 weeks, we had, like, planned how we were going to do it. And then got cameras rolling, shot, and, yeah, it was sick.
Look at that. Closed mouths don't get fed.
No, man.
At all. So when you went to T.O., like, what does he say when you first initially threw it at him? Like the pilot.
I was just like, hey, bro, like, you want it? T.O., like, the common misconception about him is that he is an arrogant person. He is selfish. The dude is the most considerate, selfless, like, acts of good faith person that I've ever known. He is a tremendous human being. He is a great dude. He called me up one time, and he was like, hey, bro, like, my son's getting ready to go to the league. Can you get him ready for the 40? Like, I've trained his son, who is another great person. Like, the Owens are just great people, And I remember when I told him, I was like, hey, man, like, do you want to, do this? And he was like, yeah, let's go. Like, let's whatever. It was like another day.
That's what I'm talking about.
One of the coolest things with him is, like, we'd be wrapping up a game, and we were in Atlanta, and we were getting ready to go out to eat. And I remember so at the time, this is when Turo was, like, a big deal. Like, you could rent cars and shit. And I was like, man, I'm going to get, like, some fire whips every time I'm up there. So I was, like, telling Christine, I'm like, what do you want to get? And she's like, I don't know, just pick something. So I got, like, this badass whip. And I'm like, Tio, where you want to go? And he was like, just meet me over here. I'm like, all right. So I pull up, and this place is, like, closed. And I'm like, man, like, this place says it's closed. He's like, no, they kept it open for me. Come upstairs. I was like, all right, we go upstairs to eat. And, like, literally it's closed, but, like, we're just upstairs, like, eating at this restaurant. It was cool, man. I have a lot of good times with him.
So you feel like your clients have become family and friends to you?
100%. I'm very, like, I always say this to people because they're like, why do you think people come back to you, like, high individuals, like high client individuals? And I just say that because I am organically myself. I'm not a yes man. I'm not afraid to say if they look like shit, if they are not doing what they need to be doing, or if they are. Like, I'm just myself. You know, I don't need to hype them up. They get told that shit on an everyday basis. They don't know who's for them or who's not. Like, so I'm just myself, man. And that's it. That's why they come back. And they get results. Like, I'm producing results, right?
I see your videos. Like, if you haven't, go follow Coach Wyatt Griffith on Instagram and all social media. Y'all be hitting it. Have you ever raced them? Y'all figured out which one's faster?
Yeah.
Did you whoop his ass?
No,
I need to know this.
No, there's a video on my page where me and him are racing, and Tio was like, damn, bro, I didn't know you had it like that, you know? Because Tio's fast as fuck. This guy is 50 years old running a 4.4.
And how tall is he? Because he's
6'3", 6'4".
I'm saying, getting them pictures, his freaking legs are like
huge,
my body.
Man. He's enormous. He's a specimen. Like divine intervention. Like, when God was creating him, he was like, you're going to get this and this and this and this and a little more of that. Like, he's just, he is a phenomenal athlete and even more incredible person. Yeah, man.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you so much
for
coming through and just being your authentic self, like you said, and just seeing you grow. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I admire you a lot, and you're younger than me. And I hope that other young gentlemen get to see this and be inspired by you. Yeah. As much as we don't want to, like, sometimes be at that high pedestal, like, you are that I would want my son to look up to. So you keep doing what you're doing and killing it. I can't wait to see little man come in. I wonder if
he's coming in for some cuts.
My God, he better. Yeah. And your wife's what? You're white, and your wife
is Vietnamese.
Yes, I can't wait to see that mix. Yeah. It's gonna be a beautiful baby.
Yeah, we can't wait. He's gonna look awesome. He's already we've already set him up for success with his closet, like, because he's gonna look great. Like,
he's gonna look good.
We've gone to some of the most, like, he's got all kinds of Nike shit. We've gone to, like, Zara for his clothes. Like, he's gonna look so gas. And then his name, like, he's got a fucking it's not a common name. He's got a great name.
You want to say it? Are you gonna keep it a secret?
So his name is Cyrus Jax.
I like that.
So yeah.
You know that Derek's nephew is named Cyrus.
Yeah.
That is a strong name.
Yeah, it's a biblical name. So we wanted to go with biblical names. And Cyrus, obviously King Cyrus, you know, his name actually means, like, the son, like, you're the son of light is basically what it means. So it's awesome. He's gonna be.
I love that for you. I can't wait to see you in this new, like, different version of who Wyatt is.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see everybody see you grow and let them know where they can find you at.
Yeah, so I mean, right now you can find me on Instagram at Coach Wyatt Griffith. That's where you can find me. I don't do the TikTok. I'm not big on Twitter.
I deleted my TikTok.
Yeah, man, I'm not big on that shit. So if you want to reach me, if you want to, like, talk to me or anything like that, look up some stuff for some training. Coach Wyatt Griffith on IG is where you can get at me.
So I appreciate you so much for coming through. And we're going to have to hit this back up in 2026. And maybe I won't think it's a year. It'll probably be 5 years.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll work on the cognitive function and the memory recall a little bit.
I tell you, life be lifing.
Yeah, it does. I feel you on that, girl.
So I appreciate y'all coming through. You already know it is ShhMoneyTalk, where the conversation behind the chair is raw, authentic, and we got good vibes with good people and locals. So make sure you support, follow Coach Wyatt Griffith on all social medias, and you already know what it is. It's ShhMoney. Have a good one. Until next time.